Okay. Gotta crack all them bones. And here we shall go with a slow scan signal. A slow scan signal. Oh fuck, this looks like a long one. Maybe. Maybe not, who knows. No, it's not. It's a lot of tabs, but it's not really that long. Okay, good. Here we go. Safe. SCP-1945 is to be monitored from Site 46, located approximately 150 meters from the edge of the anomalous zone. All electronic devices acquired on site are to be stored within the Site 46 facility and under no circumstances taken into the SCP-1945 anomalous zone. The secrecy of SCP-1945 is to be maintained by a standard security/surveillance team in accordance with the object class. And the cover story of radioactive waste dumped upon the property disseminated in local press. Security breaches are to be handled via non-lethal means unless absolutely necessary and directed through local authorities. -1 is to be observed by Site 46 staff at all times. For the purpose of recording and analysis, Site 46 is to contain a secure computer setup with software capable of decrypting, compressing, and responding to -1. Only one member of site staff may be in direct observation of the output data, with at least 2 additional staff present to ensure the observer's mental condition is not compromised. See Incident Report -1.5. Due to the content of -1, one personnel defense weapon is to be kept in storage at Site 46 in case of evacuation or repulsion of a hostile. Why did I move upwards? Of hostile entity. No firearms are to be kept on a person or in proximity to any member of Site 46 staff. SCP-1945 is an anomalous region located over a rural household in all observed states. The anomalous zone covers the entirety of the structure. However, the size and shape of the field is influenced by multiple conditions, including but not limited to temperature, humidity, electromagnetic waves of various wavelengths, and the presence of ferrous metal. The diameter of the anomalous area varies from an average of 49 meters at midnight to an average of 104 meters at noon. The anomalous zone of SCP-1945 has an influence on the current carrying capacity of all material with an electrical resistivity of 2.4 units or lower. Any circuit with power supply outside of the anomaly remains unaffected, retaining unchanged voltage, current, and resistance outside of the anomalous area. Any instances of appropriate material within SCP-1945 are saturated with a shifting electrical current identified to be digital audio output, resulting in the disruption or destruction of electronic devices. While this current is not usually capable of leaving the area of SCP-1945, a coating of lead to certain cable materials has allowed analog output to be extracted to Site 46, catalogued as -1. -1 is a signal carried by the current manifested within SCP-1945 and has been identified as a repeated slow scan television (SSTV) signal broadcast with a 36-second transmission time and a resolution of 320 × 240 pixels. Damn, when translated to a visual format. -1 is transmitted at 3 times the reading speed of ordinary SSTV signals, requiring software to be modified in order to correctly convert the images. When converted, -1 appears as surveillance footage of a room that bears similarity to a standard Foundation humanoid containment cell, with the video source located at one corner of the room. -1 transmits 5 frames per minute. 5 frames per minute? That is... wow. As the signal is uninterrupted at all times, -1 generates 7,200 frames per 24-hour period, or 240 minutes of footage. That's very slow. According to -1 observation, the cell contains one steel frame bed with a basic mattress, pillow, and sheet. The bed frame is fixed. One metal table centered in the room. 2 metal chairs in line with the image source. Neither the chair or table are bolted to the floor. See document 1.3. 3 pieces of cutlery consisting of a plate, cup, and spoon made of blue plastic. These are replaced 3 times a day whether or not food is consumed. No knife or fork have ever been observed. See document 1.1. A mirrored window identified to be an observation room. An adjoining room presumed to be a bathroom hidden from camera. Multiple books, stacks of paper and drawing implements. 2 intercom speakers situated at opposite corners of the room. A young female humanoid of fair skin and black hair, designated -2, believed to be the occupant of the cell, as -2 does not leave the security footage except under unusual circumstances. See document 1.3, 1.4, and 1.7. -1 has been observed to be outside of the control of the captors of -2. -1 has been interrupted on 2 occasions. See document 1.2, 1.4, and modified on 1. See document 1.5. However, the current lead researcher on site, Dr. has theorized that the signal may be related to -2, as both interruptions have been consistent with periods of traumatic unconsciousness. As -1 has been determined to be a live feed as by document 1.6, it is assumed that the location of the footage is under the effect of type 1 time dilation at a ratio of 6:1. Yeah, then like... Okay. Additional. Throughout observation of -1, there have been 6 separate instances in which -1 or its content has deviated from usual behavior. These are designated 1.22 through 1.7. 1.7. Document 1.1 is a transcript of an average daily routine. Note that all times listed in document 1.1 are averaged from days of recorded footage. Due to the effect of time dilation, 2 times are unknown. Times in all documents are approximated based on comparison between -1 and Foundation humanoid containment protocols. Alright, here we go. Document 1.1. So this is the norm. This is how it's supposed to be. SCP involved -2, date NA. 4 a.m. -2 awakens at 4 a.m. This is accompanied by a notable decrease in signal interference, clearing nearly all image artifacts. By observed reaction of -2, it is assumed that she is awoken by some form of alarm or intercom. -2 moves around the room for the next 3 hours, showing signs of anxiety, moving between both chairs and in the bed. -2 has been seen on multiple occasions to lay her head on the table or assume the fetal position on the bed, observed to be crying. At this time, lights within the cell are dimmed, making close observation of -2 difficult. I will say right now, before we go on, it is a bit eerie to imagine a woman. You see a woman crying on her bed or like by the table, and all of this is happening at 5 frames per minute. So, which means like every 12 seconds, basically, close to that, the frame changes. So, I don't know, something about like how slow the frame rate is gives it like more like eerie feel to it, which would also make it really like scary if you were to like stare into the camera for like hours, because you know for a fact that the frame rate is not the only, like she is actually standing there for a long time. It's not just the frame rate then. At this time, lights within the cell are dimmed, making close observation of -2 difficult. 6:30 a.m. The lights in the cell increase in luminosity to approximately 500 lumens. 7 a.m. The cell holding -2 is unlocked and the first meal is delivered by an unidentified figure in a white lab coat. -2 rarely moves from whatever position she is in until the deliverer has left and the cell has been locked. Some sort of like, okay, I wonder if it's like a Foundation white lab coat or if it's just a random science experiment white lab coat. Like it's just a random scientist out there somewhere. Could be a martial collar and dog, who knows. 7:15 a.m. -2 finishes her meal and pushes the plate aside, moving one chair to the first corner from the camera and staring at it for approximately 1 hour. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. After which she returns to casual behavior. It should be noted that -2 rarely makes use of drawing implements, however she has been observed to damage books and tear up large quantities of paper over the course of several hours. 3:30 p.m. Two armed guards enter the room in full body armor, moving -2 and the chair away from the table and holding her in the seat. A third figure approaches, applying an unknown item to the wrist of -2. At this point, -2 quickly falls unconscious, causing extreme interference to -1, rendering approximately 75% of signal data unrecoverable. Footage of the following 15 minutes has not given any indication of what occurs during this period of unconsciousness. 3:45 p.m. -2 awakens on the bed, indicated by a sudden increase in video quality. -2 does not move from the bed, nor has she been observed to move at all after 3:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Third meal is delivered into the cell containing -2. -2 shows no signs of acknowledgement and has never been observed to leave the bed. 6 p.m. -2 falls asleep. This is accompanied by a slow decrease in quality, ultimately rendering approximately 60% of signal data unrecoverable. Interference appears to be that of a second SSTV string overlapping with the first. The content of the second SSTV string is unknown. Okay, it also almost seems like the quality of the footage increases and decreases depending on her mental state and how awake she is. Because it feels like the moment she goes to sleep, that's when it's like it degrades again, right? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong though. Okay, so that's how it normally goes. Now let's see what the deviations are. Document 1.2. SCP involved -2 date. Subject, after extensive analysis of SCP-1945, a test was approved in order to determine whether the signal effect of SCP-1945 worked in both directions. Procedure. A second cable of copper wire was trailed from Site 46 to within the field of SCP-1945, but earthed separately to the main circuit. A 60-second audio file consisting of single-tone beeps at 1-second intervals was digitized and applied to the cable. Results were observed via -1. Tests commenced at 7:25 a.m. during a period when -2 had shown little to no movement. Well, dreams can be distressing as well. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So if it is connected to her mental state, then that would explain why the quality is poor. Because first of all, she's in what seems to be in a jail cell, or at least she's contained by something. She's clearly not wanting to be there. So it looks like she's already constantly just depressed, down, negative thoughts, and then there seems to be a moment where she where the quality goes up again, but then when she falls asleep, it goes down again. Results. Exactly 7 frames after the signal terminated, -2 moved from her location, standing and turning to face the speakers. She then returned to her seat, moving into the side of the table opposite the door. -2 proceeded to sit and remained as such without movement until 12 p.m. When her meal was to be delivered, -2 grasped and flipped the table toward the door, following which she used a chair to assault the person delivering the food. After incapacitating the person, -2 attempted to escape the room, leaving visual range for 12.4 seconds before being forcibly dragged back in the room by 2 additional figures in full body armor. In the face of continued resistance, -2 was injected with an unknown substance by one of the figures. -1 reached 75% data corruption in 15.7 seconds, indicating unconsciousness. So yeah, it is definitely her awake state and mental state. For sure. Analysis. Previous lack of movement at the time of the test indicated that -2 was capable of perceiving the signal sent into SCP-1945. However, due to the extreme reaction, it is opinion of Dr. that no subsequent tests can be conducted without further observation of -2. Document 1.3. Okay. SCP involved -2. Date. Description. Following the event of test log 1.2, the previous day, -2 deviated wildly from previous observed routine. -2 slept until 7 a.m. and was not awoken during the deliveries of food. -2 was observed pacing the cell over the course of several hours, finally settling at the table at approximately 10:45 a.m. Unusual activity ceased until 3:15 p.m., at which point Dash 2 began to move furniture to barricade the door, including the table, both chairs, and bedding. Dash 2 then propped herself against the door and held the door shut for the following 62 minutes, before being forced back by a pair of armored guards. At this point, Dash 2 manifested an anomalous effect whose exact nature is unknown. Exact times were measured at all times of the disturbance. 0 seconds, Dash 2 manifest effect. Dash 2 stands in the center of the room, head tilted back and hands clenched. Armored guards attempt to engage Dash 2. 0.7 seconds, guards recoil, showing signs of disorientation and pain. 4.4 seconds, Dash 2 falls to her knees. Both guards appear incapacitated, falling to the floor and remaining motionless. 7.8 seconds, Dash 2 returns to standing. 9.2 seconds, observation room glass shatters outwards from the position of Dash 2. He's becoming Carrie. Dash 1 is obscured by what is assumed to be a fraction in the camera lens. 9.8 seconds, both speakers in the room simultaneously catch fire. 10.6 seconds, Dash 2 ends the effect as noted by movement from her previous stance, dropping to her knees again. 16.4 seconds, Dash 2 recovers, climbing through the broken window and leaving visual range. The data corruption of Dash 1 began to increase as soon as Dash 2 left the room. 5 minutes after the escape attempt, Dash 1 ceased audio for the first and only time since the beginning of observation. Dash 1 resumed broadcasting approximately 14 hours later, providing an image of Dash 2 resting upon her bed with no signs of damage to the room. Oh, it's just reset? Is that what happened? Like, she managed to do all that, but then it's just reset back to how it was. Document 1.4, level 3 clearance required. SCP involved Dash 2, date, description, at approximately 5:40 p.m. lighting in the cell containing Dash 2 went out. Secondary lighting kicked in after 30 seconds, revealing that Dash 2 had moved from the bed and was repeatedly striking the door with both fists. Observation of her behavior suggests that she was able to hear or by some other means perceive something that caused her great distress. This behavior continued for another 43 seconds, at which point an unknown non-humanoid entity entered the cell via destruction of the far wall. Showing no physical harm, the entity proceeded to grasp and throw Dash 2 across the length of the room, causing an immediate drop in the quality of Dash 1, rendering approximately 87% of signal data unrecoverable. I guess she somehow was able to guess that this entity was about to enter her room. That's why she was pouncing the door, because she wanted to get out. While video quality prevents extended analysis of the entity, it has been noted by a doctor that it bears resemblance to redacted before it incurred damage during recovery by Foundation personnel. As such, the frames and video segment containing footage of incident 1.4 are to be removed from storage at Site 46 and moved to a more secure site. Document 1.45, level 4 clearance required. SCP involved Dash 1, not Dash 2 this time, it's Dash 1. Date. Description. At approximately 2:43 p.m., Dash 1 ceased to transmit for a total of 60 minutes, during which time junior researcher was assigned to monitor until the return of the signal. Upon the return of Dash 1, the transmission consisted of uniform black frames with negligible interference. 6 minutes and 40 seconds after the reactivation of Dash 1, a frame was transmitted containing an Hemingway-class mimetic kill agent, as later confirmed by Foundation analysis. Consistent with Hemingway-class mimetic compulsion, junior researcher retrieved the emergency firearm located at Site 46 from storage and killed junior researchers and before committing suicide. Regular transmission returned 47 minutes after the distribution of the mimetic image. Following this incident, a layer of artificial interference was applied to Dash 1 in order to disrupt mimetic images. With the exception of Dr. All staff were transferred from Site 46 to undergo psychological evaluation and replaced with researchers unaware of the previous incident. Addendum. Following the transfer of the mimetic frame to Sector 7 for research purposes, Foundation analysts discovered that an identical instance was already in Foundation storage. Designated MKA-0277, the image was attached to a decommissioned Foundation protocol regarding the deterrence or elimination of surveillance from beyond the Foundation physical reach. Staff below security level 4 are itchy head today, not to be made aware of this discovery. Document 1.5 is now classified as an attack upon the Foundation and its assets. Document 1.6. SB involved -2. Date. Subject. Following the events of document 1.5, a second attempt to contact -2 was made in order to discover more about incident 1.5. Procedure for the second test as a SSTV signal was developed featuring the words "Can you hear us?" upon a plain background. As in test log 1.2, the signal slowed by a factor of 6 in order to match the time dilation of -1. Was digitized and sent into the range of SCP-19545. Test began at approximately 7:25 a.m. Result: -2 showed an immediate reaction to the signal, however no response was made until the transmission had reached completion. At this point, -2 approached the camera, looking at it directly and nodding to show affirmation. Okay. We're communicating. We're connecting. Analysis. It appears that -2 is by some unknown means capable of perceiving and understanding SSTV transmissions. It is also notable that -2 is aware of the observation to conduct via the video source. Document 1.7, level 4 clearance required. SCP involved -1 and -2. Date. Description: at approximately 2:43 a.m., -2 was removed from the visual range of -1 by 2 armored guards. -2 woke immediately, struggling in an attempt to assault the guards when grasped. Despite considerable resistance, -2 was removed from the room without incident. Quality of -1 began to decline approximately 37 seconds later. Approximately 2 minutes following the removal of -2, another armored figure approached the source of -1 and proceeded to remove it from its location. Despite this, -1 continued to transmit slowly, declining in quality. -1 has continued to transmit to the current date, however the quality of the signal has not improved, rendering all frames transmitted since then unrecognizable. Addendum. After extensive audio scrubbing in an attempt to repair the last identifiable signals transmitted from -1, a single frame was located depicting an icon print onto the body armor of the guard who removed the video source of -1. The icon has not been previously attributed to any GOYs and no previous examples have been recorded. Investigation into the origin and meaning of the icon is currently ongoing. Icon, yeah, it looks like it's an altered, like a different. Why can I not? Hold on. I cannot open it on a different tab for some reason. But I can. It's just immediately downloads. But yeah, it looks like it's like a alternative version of the SCP. Like it has arrows. Well, I say that, but the arrows pointing, the circle, the stars. It's from the sounds of it, she's being contained by some scientists and some guards. It sounds like it's a different reality of a different foundation that's very similar to the SCP Foundation itself. And from what the ending is trying to say, I think she is now currently on the constant state of like, I don't know, like half asleep. I mean, from all we can tell, she might have gone like a lobotomy or something. Like, she's just broken, and that's what the camera is showing as well. Like, yeah, she's now in a state where she cannot really perceive the world anymore, So her mind's just the -1 view is representing that. Damn. I feel bad for her, but I'm also interested in, like, what was that entity that just broke into her room and then just tossed her around? Like, what was that all about? I guess that was a breach of another creature that they were containing as well.